All right, this is a cool one. I've got reviews of an animated movie based on a live-action series and a live-action movie based on an animated series. All right, you've got two reviews in one video for you today. We're going to start with How to Train Your Dragon, which is the live-action interpretation of the first How to Train Your Dragon animated film. I love the animated series. And what's cool about this one is the same director making the live-action movie, Dean DeBlois. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. And he's cast a lot of live-action actors that look perfect in the role of these animated characters that we have loved in the animated series. Mason Thames is our new Hiccup, and boy, does he just nail the performance. He's fantastic. Of course, he channels a little bit of Jay Baruchel's performance. I loved what Jay did with the animated Hiccup, and a lot of that quirkiness and that sort of intimidated shyness that the character has, this inability of this character to kind of meet and live up to the expectations that all of these Vikings that live among him have for him. And they're always kind of gesturing at him and sort of saying that he is the problem and he's the odd man out, and he just doesn't have any belief in himself. And to see that personified with such grace and humor and empathy, really tremendous work by this young actor. He's terrific in this role, and if he didn't work, this whole freaking thing didn't work. But it really does. This movie really does. And I can tell you that a lot of young kids were in the screening of this film, and I saw this movie on Father's Day with my family, and that was a really nice treat. But there were a lot of young kids in the film, and just like the animated film, there's a lot of buildup before we see that inevitable collision, that meetup between Hiccup and Toothless. And what happened in the screening is that a hush came over the crowd. The audience was really transported. These young eyes, these young minds all around us, they stopped talking, they stopped fidgeting, they were blown away. And you could feel it when Hiccup gets on Toothless and they start flying. And those sequences were absolutely astounding. And there's a dramatic, wonderful escalation as the film continues, and we get to see all of these Vikings deal with all of these dragons and how they have to hide from them and cower from them, and they're quite ferocious even though they're cartoony and comical, and they're wonderful live-action-ish interpretations of their animated forms. I don't want to spoil this, but this is a franchise that's been around for a long time, so there's a pretty good chance that you have seen one or all of these animated films. And that is the only sort of wrinkle in all of this, because this is a real retelling of the first picture. I mean, if you know what you're kind of waiting for and what you're expecting to see on the big screen in this story, you're gonna see it. There's a lot of the same types of beats. There's, some slight alterations and interpretations that sort of deviate from what you've seen before, but pretty much this feels like a note-for-note recreation of something that is quite beloved. And I was moved. I love the music. What's interesting is Dean DeBlois also directed the Lilo and Stitch animated movie, and that is now a live-action film, which was also quite true, although there were some deviations, more deviations in that movie, but the vibes of that film kind of carried over from the animated work. So I think Hollywood is kind of learning that these masterpieces, these animated masterpieces, don't really need to be tinkered with. And this movie is a bit unnecessary because the animated work is so freaking good. But I know a lot of people are going to prefer seeing this fantasy come to life in a more quote-unquote realistic form like this. And the visuals and the animation are absolutely outstanding. I think every visual effects artist, there are a couple of shots where you can kind of see the blue screen work, but there is some seamless stuff in here. The flying is so dynamic and so beautiful. The exterior shots, the locations of this movie are breathtaking as well. It looks like a lot of the movie was shot in Iceland, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous film. Great, stunning, climactic effects work, magnificent designs with some of these dragons and the confrontations and the battles that happen, and there definitely is this sense of danger, and it might freak out some really younger kids, but I think they are also going to be just completely transported by this adventure. This is a really nice surprise. I was hopeful that this was going to hit the marks of the animated work, but it really does. And another standout element in this film is that Gerard Butler from the animated films reprises his role as Stoic, which is Hiccup's father, and he just does a tremendous job. He was incredible in the animated stuff, and I love seeing him on screen in this. I just love that actor. He's just so charming. And there's great work. Like every other actor, Nick Frost was terrific in this. All of the young actors that play Hiccup's buddies are great. And the performance of Toothless, the visual effects performance of Toothless is just so wonderful. Those green eyes, those expressive eyes. We have a cat that always reminds me of Toothless. And the animators did a wonderful job giving this little character, this dragon, so much heart and joy, and you just love him so much. So, mission accomplished with How to Train Your Dragon, absolutely. I love this film. I think it's great. Is it better than the animated work? No, but it sits right alongside it comfortably. I'm looking forward to the sequel to this live-action film as well. I'm gonna give How to Train Your Dragon an 8.5 out of 10. Now, can we just take a second to acknowledge what an incredible career, what incredible accomplishments Dan Trachtenberg is having in Hollywood right now. He used to be part of the Totally Rad show, and I would run into him all the time. He's a super, super nice guy, working with Jeff Kanata and Alex Albrecht. And those guys did great stuff with Totally Rad show, but he was always talking about the movies that he loved, and now he's making the movies that we love. And I'm talking about the brand new Predator film. It's called Killer of Killers. It's an animated picture, and it's an animated kind of tale diving deep into Predator lore. Of course, he also made Prey, which was a really terrific Predator experience where a Predator came to Earth and fought a group of Native Americans, and one in particular did some incredible stuff in that film. But Killer of Killers is a bit of a different experience. It's kind of episodic. It collects 3 different stories of 3 different events, and we have Predators landing on Earth again. They like to hunt us humans, and different time periods of human history. So we see a Predator destroy a Viking camp and sort of attack all of these different warriors. And one of them, a female warrior, a mother, rises to the occasion and confronts this Predator in epic fashion. Spectacular battles. And then we also have a samurai sequence as well. And again, we've got this incredible warrior that just can go toe-to-toe with this Predator. And there's some supremely cool sequences jumping off of rooftops and stuff. It's so freaking gorgeous. And the other one is a World War II pilot who has to confront a Predator in the air as it is pursuing this guy. And so what happens is we see how these different humans with these different skills deal with these really specific, horrific situations. There's a ton of carnage. This is a really bloody film, but it's also really interesting science fiction because it's diving deeper into the psychology and the makeup of the obsessions of these predators and why they have to hunt. And I won't spoil it, but there is a really fantastic epic conclusion that brings a lot of these threads together, which is terrific. I thought the animation was wonderful. It's definitely taking a page from the amazing, groundbreaking work of the Spider-Verse movies. We're seeing that a lot across animation right now, a lot more sort of esoteric and experimental, it feels like. But I'm all for it. It feels like sometimes you're looking at it and there's like this purposeful frames of animation missing to kind of make it almost look like you're leafing through comic book pages in a way, or art sheets or something. I loved it. I loved the look of it. I loved where the tale took us. I liked all the acting and the voice performances in this. The charm of these disparate characters was really cool. The ferocity of them. And also these different predator designs were really slick and really fun to dive into. It feels like Dan Trachtenberg is kind of the king of the predators at this point. And it also feels like there's a lead up to more, and a lot more might be coming our way, which I'm extremely excited about. This movie rules. You definitely need to see it. I watched it on Disney+. It's part of the Hulu movies out there as well, so you can watch it in Hulu in some markets, depending on where you are, but it's Disney+ here in Canada, and it's incredible. I'm gonna give Predator Killer of Killers 9.5 out of 10. So there you go. Sometimes it's pretty fun when you mix and match like this, moving from animation to live action and back again. I had a great time at the movies, and I hope you check both of these out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let me know what you think of these flicks in the comments below. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up on the video and for commenting down below. We will see you soon. And until then, play forever.